Not final until time expires to file rehearing. Motion N, if filed, determined. In the District Court of Appeal of Florida. 2nd District. Juan Falcon. Appellant. V. Case No. 2D15-4134. State of Florida. Appellee. Opinion filed October 27, 2017. Appeal from the Circuit Court for Collier County, Lauren L. Brody. Judge. Christopher H. Brown of Brown. Suarez, Rios and Weinberg, PA. Naples, for Appellant. Pamela Jo Bondi, Attorney General. Tallahassee, and C. Todd Chapman. Assistant Attorney General, Tampa. For Appellee. Rothstein Wakem, Judge. Juan Falcon pleaded no contest to charges of maintaining a marijuana grow house and possessing drug paraphernalia based on the seizure of 26 marijuana plants from a shed in his backyard. As part of his plea, Falcon preserved his right to appeal the trial court's denial of his dispositive motion to suppress evidence on the grounds that, 1. The deputies had violated Florida's knock and announce statute. 2. Section 933.09, Florida Statutes, 2013, and, 2. The search warrant had issued on insufficient probable cause. We hold that Falcon's first ground is meritorious, decline to reach the second ground, and reverse. Background. In denying Falcon's suppression motion, the trial court made no explicit findings of fact. Consequently, we must construe the factual record in the light most favorable to the denial of the motion, see in Rito, 932 So. 2D 278, 283-84, FLA 2D DCA. 2005, observing that traditional appellate presumption of correctness require us to view the record in the light most favorable to sustaining the order under review, which we do as follows. After learning that Falcon was engaged in a marijuana growing operation out of his residence and/or a shed in his backyard, the Collier County Sheriff's Office independently confirmed the presence of items consistent with a grow operation near and connected to the shed. Thus, at just past 6:45 a.m. on April 9, 2014, a SWAT unit of at least 6 heavily armed deputies appeared on the front doorstep of Falcon's residence to execute a search warrant. Less than an hour earlier, the deputies had all been briefed on the fact that Falcon lived in the residence with his family, which included an adolescent son and a teenage daughter. Notwithstanding the nature of the suspected offense, the deputies had no reason to believe that there were any weapons in the residence or that Falcon was armed and dangerous. His criminal history consisted of 1 arrest for driving under 1 at the suppression hearing. One SWAT member testified that, in situations involving a suspected marijuana growing operation, we always have to assume that there are weapons in the house. We can't go on the mentality that there's no weapons, because we don't know. 3. The influence. The deputies also had no reason to believe that Falcon knew that they were coming, that anyone inside the residence was at risk of harm, or that Falcon or his family might try to escape or destroy evidence. Over a public address system, the deputies thrice announced Sheriff's Department and demanded that those inside the residence open the door. The deputies observed no activity inside the residence. Their demand unmet, the deputies breached the door with a battering ram and another tool and then set off 2 pyrotechnic noise flash diversion devices at the front and side of the residence. Falcon and his family had been sleeping when the deputies had arrived on their doorstep, and Falcon and his daughter were walking toward the front door when it was forced open. Numerous deputies entered the residence and secured Falcon, his wife, and his daughter by zip-tying their hands behind their backs. Although Falcon's son was not zip-tied, the record establishes that the deputy's entry terrified him. Approximately 20 seconds elapsed between the moment that the deputies began the knock and announce procedure and their breach of the front door. At the suppression hearing, one deputy estimated that more than 15 seconds had elapsed between the first knock and announce and the breach. Accordingly, we must assume that, after duly notifying Falcon and his family of their authority to enter, deputies waited more than 15 seconds but less than 20 seconds before breaching their front door. 4. Analysis. Falcon argues that the SWAT deputies violated the knock and announce statute when they forcibly breached the front door of his residence to execute the search warrant. That statute provides the officer may break open any outer door, inner door, or window of a house, or any part of a house or anything therein, to execute the warrant, if after due notice of the officer's authority and purpose he or she is refused admittance to said house or access to anything therein. 933.09. The policy underlying Section 933.09 derives from the sentiment that here is nothing more terrifying to the occupants than to be suddenly confronted in the privacy of their home by a police officer decorated with guns and the insignia of his office. This is why the law protects its entrance so rigidly. State v. Bamber, 630 So. 2D 1048. 1052, FLA 1994, quoting Benefield v. State, 160 So 2D 706, 709, FLA 1964. Where officers knock, announce their authority and purpose, and then enter with such haste that the occupant does not have a reasonable opportunity to respond, the search violates Section 933.09. Holloway v. State, 718 So. 2D 1281, 1282, FLA 2D DCA 1998. And absent certain exigencies, a violation of Section 933.09 warrants suppression. C. Generally State v. Cable, 51 So. 3D 434, 444, FLA 2010, reaffirming suppression as remedy for violation of parallel knock and announce provision of 901.19, 1, see also. Benefield, 160 So. 2D at 710, identifying exigencies that justify unannounced intrusion that would otherwise violate Section 933.09. Significantly, however, Section 933.09 does not provide how long after due notice the officer must wait before forcibly entering the residence, and case law provides 5. No bright line rule, although his court has noted that time periods less than 5 seconds are rarely deemed adequate, and periods in excess of 15 seconds are often adequate. Spradley v. State, 933 So. 2D 51, 55, FLA 2D DCA 2006, quoting State v. Castles, 835 So. 2D 397, 399 N.2, FLA 2D DCA 2003, second alteration in original. The question is whether the officer has waited a sufficient period, under all of the circumstances, so that the officer can reasonably infer or conclude that he or she has been refused admittance by the occupants, to ID, and the only answer found in our case law is that the occupant must have a reasonable opportunity to respond, State v. Pruitt. 967 So. 2D 1021, 1023, FLA 2D DCA 2007, quoting Richardson v. State, 787 So 2D 906. 908, FLA 2D DCA 2001. In determining whether the occupant has been afforded a reasonable opportunity, some factors the courts have considered include the nature of the underlying offense, the time of day the warrant is executed, the size of the home, whether any activity or movement is observed within the home at the time of execution, and whether any exigencies exist. Mendez Jorge v. State, 135 So. 3D 464, 467, FLA 5th. DCA 2014. Although failing to explicitly find how long the deputies had waited, the trial court concluded that it had been reasonable. Upon our de novo review of the pertinent factors, however, see Daniels v. State, 208 So. 3D 1223, 1226, FLA 2D DCA 2017. Explaining that we review de novo trial court's conclusions of law in ruling on suppression motion, we conclude that the 15 to 20 seconds that the deputies 2A an officer with a valid warrant may, of course, forcibly enter a residence upon an affirmative refusal of entry. Nevertheless, whether the ultimate refusal be express or implied, the statute and case law interpreting it require that some quantity of time, sufficient under the particular circumstances, be permitted for an occupant to respond. Richardson v. State, 787 So. 2D 906, 908, FLA 2D DCA 2001. 6. Provided Falcon and his family was not reasonable. Apart from the bare nature of the offense, no factor supported the urgency with which the deputies executed the warrant. And the facts of this particular case undercut the assumptions that the deputies would normally draw even from that factor, even allowing a general assumption that a marijuana grower will be armed and dangerous. The state stipulated at the suppression hearing that the SWAT deputies had had no reason to believe that there were weapons in the residence or that Falcon was armed and dangerous. To the contrary, the deputies knew that the residence was Falcon's family residence, which he shared with his wife and children, and that Falcon's criminal history consisted of one prior arrest for driving under the influence. See Randall v. State, 793 So. 2D 59, 60, FLA 2D DCA 2001, holding 10 seconds unreasonable when officers executed warrant between 6 o'clock and 7 a.m. and had no information that firearms might be present or that residents posed any threat. Furthermore, in executing the warrant at 6:45 a.m., the deputies all but ensured that the entire family would be home and, as turned out to be the case, might still be asleep. 3 See Spradley, 933 So. 2D at 55, holding 15 seconds unreasonable. Because, among other things, at 9:41 p.m., the officers could reasonably expect an occupant to be awake, but it was also late enough that the occupants might be preparing for bed. Richardson v. State, 787 So. 2D 906, 908, FLA 2D DCA 2001, holding 10 seconds unreasonable at approximately 5:30 a.m. because it was at a time of day when it was reasonable that persons inside the house would be sleeping, citing Griffin v. United States, 618A.2D 114, DC 1992, holding 30 seconds unreasonable at 1:40. 3 The SWAT unit leader testified that the unit had executed the warrant at that time for the safety of the unit. When asked what had prevented the unit from waiting until, for example, noon, the unit leader replied, daylight. 7 a.m. None of the deputies observed any activity or movement inside the residence. CF Braham v. State, 724 so. 2D 592, 594, FLA 2D DCA 1998, considering officer's ability to hear phone ringing inside trailer and someone moving around inside as factors, rendering 5 to 10 second delay reasonable. And the deputies had no reason to believe that Falcon knew that they were coming, that anyone inside the residence was at risk of harm, or that Falcon or his family might try to escape or destroy evidence. Cf. Benefield, 160 so. 2D at 710, identifying exigencies justifying unannounced intrusion. Conclusion. Upon consideration of all of these factors, we hold that the deputies violated Section 933.03 by failing to afford Falcon a reasonable opportunity to respond, and that this violation warranted suppression. Point 4. In so holding, we recognize that determining what is reasonable is not an exact science, and that, in the wrong situation, waiting too long could have catastrophic results. Nonetheless, maintaining the balance between the rightful force and authority of the state and the rights of its citizens can come down literally to a matter of seconds. Precisely because there is so little margin for error either way, we urge law enforcement agencies to use SWAT tactics to execute search warrants sparingly, and to take special care that their use does not simply become par for the course. Reversed, remanded for discharge. Wallace and Kausam, J.J., concur. 4. Because we conclude that suppression is warranted on this basis, we need not address Falcon's alternative challenge to the sufficiency of the probable cause supporting the warrant.
Need a car? Don't forget to stop by carmarshal.com, where you can scout through over 100,000 new and used car vehicles. Take a look around. Get you a new affordable car. carmarshal.com.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal. And there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that's that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, now we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So, if you can give more than that, that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not. They're just not. So, anyways, if you can give more than that, that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now. Where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran on, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran on no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know the dollar a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.